decided to listen to the Reality Czars podcast. How brave of you. Nate and Paranoid American may think that they're merely discussing cryptozoology, interdimensional realities, and crude humor. But know this, listening to this podcast puts you on a certain list, the Clinton body count, if you will. The truths they reveal are not for the faint of heart, nor the blissfully ignorant. Listen if you dare, but remember, some doors, once opened, cannot be closed. And now, your hosts, those audacious explorers of forbidden knowledge, the Reality Czars, Nate and Paranoid American.
And we're live. Welcome, everybody. This is the Reality Czars podcast, and we're your hosts tonight, Nate and Thomas, the Paranoid motherfucking American.
Wahaha.
We got Tommy Cullum on from Let's Get Freaky podcast. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm very excited to be here. And that is a cool intro, by the way. Man. Loving that intro.
That's the first time we played it.
That's cool.
First
man.
debut.
You popped the cherry.
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy popped our cherry. That's our brand new intro. Thomas made it. It's fucking amazing. I love it. And yeah, man. Thank you, Tommy, for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
It's been a minute in the working. Like, I think the last time I had like a doctor's appointment, and then we were supposed to do it again, and then I had a filling like fall out of my mouth, which was probably good because it was aluminum or whatever the fuck it, lead or whatever the bullshit it was. So they filled it in with I don't know, the white stuff, whatever the fuck it is.
Space age polymer.
It's
it's the shit they make like the space shuttles out of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The space shuttles. Yeah. Underwater space shuttles. Anyways, man. Tommy, thank you for coming and thank you for joining us. This is your first time on the show. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and where they can find you?
Yeah, firstly, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be here, man. It's an absolute honor. I'm Tommy Cullum from Let's Get Freaky podcast. We talk about all paranormal, ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, everything paranormal and strange. We talk about it. I have guests on every week that have had experiences or work with the paranormal, and we discuss it, and they tell us their experiences. And yeah, it's just it's serious but a bit of fun at the same time.
Hell yeah, dude!
I found this on the website
Oh,
with a bit of fun at the same time.
my Siri just sorry, guys, my Siri just came up then.
Dude, you're
order
brave to have
5.
one of those in your house. I don't like that shit. They freak me out. I mean, I know it's the same thing. Like I have some stupid thing on my phone. I won't talk to it. I've never set it up, but I have like I don't even remember what the fuck it's called. It's like Bixby or some faggoty awful thing. But yeah, I don't like that shit.
Nah.
At least the Amazon one. What's that one? Alexa. For everybody that's everybody that has an Alexa in the room, let's say, what's something terrible, Thomas? Let's say,
Alexa,
hey, Alexa,
order Paranoid American History, Volume 101.
There you go.
Yes, yes. 5.
Hey,
Yes.
Hey, Alexa, look up fart porn. There we go.
Hey, Alexa, look up Bigfoot adult novels.
Yeah, but I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, the fart porn is pretty good. Not that I know. Just I've been told.
It's redundant, right? Why do you have to say
one-
the same word twice?
There's one that's fucking amazing. As a kid, like, you know, there's like the awful, like, okay, this is not paranormal. I'm sorry, Tommy. We'll get on a serious topic here in a
That's
second.
cool, man.
But I remember, like, you know, all the awful videos that you, that, like, just coming to the age. There's like these awful videos that exist online. And like, what's his name? Mr. Hand. Is that what they call him? The dude that got like plowed by a horse and died. What was his name? I think his name was something like that.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Zoo made about that.
Mm-hmm. It's
or actually
awful.
a few
So,
now. There's been a few movies made about him now.
there's another one that, like, I don't know if it exists anymore, and please don't look this up. You don't want to, but it was meatspin.com. And it was just a dude getting plowed in the butt, and his wiener was doing a helicopter. And the background was, you spin me right round, baby,
man.
right round like a record, baby. Dude, and it was just on repeat over and over again, just a dude getting plowed in the ass. And so I used to always put my friend's like home browser to that. So every time they would open up their computer, it just
There was when I was at Disney, there was another site. It was called like phonetrace.org or something like that. and you would go in there and you would like type in a phone number and it would pretend like it was like zooming in on a certain city, and then right as it got to the street level it would show that exact same video playing some other song or whatever, but it would be like, yo, did you ever know you can find out where someone's at? Yeah, bro, just put in the phone number. Like I mean, it was a simpler time, right?
Oh, dude, it was the best. I mean, that was like Rick rolling back in the day, but more
Right.
filthy. But the one that I was thinking of when I said fart porn, there's literally a video. You can probably look this up. Anybody? You don't want to, but this woman, I think the video is called Cake Farts. Do you know what I'm talking about? And
Are we doing this right now?
I guess you could pull it up, Thomas.
Are we doing this right now? No, I mean, I'm not pulling anything up, but I got some references too. If this is what we're doing all of a sudden,
Okay. Well, it's this like it's very pretty woman with a big butt, and she's like, you know what I love? Cake farts. And she just like full on sits in a cake and then goes like this and goes, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. 5-leaf clover said everyone left.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's actually our sponsor, ironically, for the night is cakefarts.com.
Yeah, cakefarts.com.
I got one too, dude. There was, I mean, so rotten.com was kind of like one of the OG websites, right? But there was also one called Consumption Junction, which was very similar, but it had a little bit less death and a lot more just like random crazy stuff. And there was one on there, man. I'm sure someone could find it again. And it was called Night with the Japanese, and it was supposed to be like it was marketed as if it was some kind of essential movie, but there was nothing pornographic about it. But it was like a lady and a guy sit down for a romantic dinner, and they start serving her all of this like rotten food, old eggs and like old chicken. And she like they're sitting down and they've got completely straight faces, like beautiful dresses and suit and everything, and like nice white napkins, everything's folded, all the silverware. But she's like trying to eat it and keep a straight face and just vomiting it all the way back on the table. And this waiter comes and the waiter puts it like back into like this big like glass or something, and then serves the glass to her, and it just keeps going over and over and over until you can't stand to watch it anymore.
That's amazing. And that's amazing.
It's like a literal art form, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's commitment. I mean, dude.
And it's the weirdest part is that like they're acting like this is a proper, like if someone farted, it would have been weird because that wouldn't be something appropriate to happen in that situation.
I don't even know if they were
vomiting
trying.
and then
Just being
re-eating
Japanese.
it. Yeah.
Like, Japanese people are so fucking proper. Dude, I used to have some friends that were Japanese, emphasis on used to, because I would say, I would just be myself, and they'd be like aghast at the things I would say and do. And apparently half the chat was too, because they left after I brought up fart porn. But that's okay. The hardcore listeners, shout out to you, are still there.
Oh, I Googled it and I'm wrong. Actually, I was just thinking of when President George Bush vomited on the Prime Minister of Japan. My bad.
Did I ever tell you guys that story? I know that I probably said it here on the podcast, and it's fitting because I am drinking chilled vodka right now. I'm drinking a really nice bottle of Portland. This is made in Portland, Oregon. It's potato vodka. It's like fancy and organic.
Was that made in one of those like when they took over town hall or the police station, whatever, and they were growing potatoes in the public commons area?
That was Seattle.
Whatever, it's the same fucking place.
Going there, it's basically the same thing. We're just a smaller, shittier version. Tommy, I live outside of Portland, so there's a lot of weird shit that happens up here. A lot of Antifa weirdos and homeless and homos, I guess. Yeah. And watch us burn our YouTube channel tonight. They're actually really ramping up their censorship shit because we're getting closer to the election. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on here. But I mean, I don't know what you're allowed to say, and I don't. But anyways, yeah.
There's the 15-minute rule in there. You've got to be careful for the first 15 minutes or something like that, isn't it?
We're only 9 minutes in.
Or,
yeah. It's too late. We were talking about fart porn.
Yeah, it's
so, but so I was a freshman and I was trying to impress this who I thought was a cute girl at the time. She turned out to be a real skank. But at the time, I thought she was really cute. She was also a freshman. and I thought it would be impressing to her if I drank a fifth of vodka. Like I was trying. It was first period, and it was like right before class was about to start. And
It would have impressed me if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, man. I mean, I chugged. Not kidding. Because I can open up my throat, dude. I mean, let the gay jokes come now, but I can open up my throat and I can chug a 40 of beer if I wanted to. And I realized I could just like chug beer like a crazy person. But at that time, I didn't realize, just how much stronger liquor was than beer. So I was chugging liquor the way I would chug beer. And so I just emptied a fucking fifth of vodka down my throat.
Oh, man.
Just trying to impress this girl. And I was so drunk. She had to like escort me basically to our second period class. And meanwhile, I'm just getting drunker and drunker because it's just hitting me, dude. It like, I don't even know. My body's freaking out. And like, so I have to pee. And so I try to get out of my desk and I just fall out of my desk and my face is just face first on the fucking floor. And I'm like, ugh. And so I'm dragging myself like to the front of the room and I like get out into the hallway and I can't make it to the bathroom. And I'm like smacking my head on the lockers. I just pull my dick out and I'm peeing in the hallway and I made a giant fucking ruckus apparently because everyone in the halls, all the classrooms came out. And so everyone's out in the hall watching me piss on the locker and like stagger and hit my head on the lockers and shit. And so, and I was probably cussing, saying all kinds of crazy stuff. So then the principal shows up and the campus cops show up and they're coming to like give me a breathalyzer in the hallway and they're trying to stick it in my mouth. And I just projectile vomit all over the principal and the campus cop. And it was pretty fucking amazing, dude. That like made me pretty fucking infamous. I don't know if that was what got me kicked out my freshman year, but something, either that or something else. But
I like that the way you tell that, it's very clear that you had like you're retelling how that was told back to you because you don't remember any of it firsthand. That's my favorite part of that.
I remember bits and pieces, dude. Yeah, I definitely needed my friends to fill it in.
Allegedly, from what I hear.
Yeah. Dude, my fucking
hero, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was pretty fucking amazing. I was a giant piece of shit. I got kicked out of 5 high schools my freshman year. I did all kinds of dumb things, dude. But I mean, that was just a list of. I think that was the first school that I got kicked out of that year. Anyways, that was fun, man. Yeah. Tommy, where did you grow up, dude? Judging by your accent, you're not from Florida, or?
Nah, man. I'm from London, pretty much Essex, which is just outside London. So that's where I'm from. Yeah, man. I'd love to come to America.
Are you in the States now?
No, I'm in Dorset now, which is about 2 hours away from London. So I'm still in the UK.
Oh, shit. I thought you were in America.
Nah, man. One day maybe.
Show's over. Get this fucking guy out of here.
I've got an American flag here. If that. So that's
there we go, man.
Yeah, boy.
Why do you have an
wipe
American
your ass
flag?
with that thing or what?
Yeah. Are you supporting Trump all the way over there? QAnon spread far, huh?
Yeah. Team Trump, let's go.
Tommy, dude, it's an honor to have you on, dude. I like your show. It's really cool. And it's not too dissimilar from ours. I mean, I think ours is a little bit more filthy, but dude, you talk about all kinds of really neat and awesome stuff. I think I was listening to the last podcast and it was a Christian dude and he was talking about like seeing, was that you or was that him? I can't remember. It was spiders the size of your head on the walls.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah. So he had that experience.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is terrifying. I'm scared of little spiders. So to see big spiders, that's not good, man.
And you were talking about the lady that was like walked into like a little bus stop and then she disappeared and a fox came out.
Yeah, so that happened. That was about a month ago. That happened to me. And I literally live about half a minute away from where I work. So I literally finish work and I'm home really quick. And I finish work at 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. So there's never normally people about. And I was just walking home, just normal, just walking home, and there was a lady walking along. And I thought, well, there's a lady there. It's nothing. Didn't mean anything. It was just a lady walking along, and she's walked to the bus stop, which I'm walking past. And for a second, I couldn't see her because she's gone behind the bus stop, and a fox come out the other side, sort of trotted out, looked at me, and run off. And I didn't think much of it, but I'm walking around the bus stop, and I'm expecting to see the lady there because there's nowhere else she could have gone, and there was nothing there, man. It was really weird. And it was just sort of, I still don't know what happened.
That's wild, dude. I mean, there's like, I'm not like completely caught up on all of that, but there's like Japanese legends. I think of like foxes are very significant to them. They're like spiritual and I think can be almost like demonic entities and things like that. I love that idea of like a shapeshifter or, I mean, almost like a dog man or a dog lady, I guess. But like, I don't know. That's really fucking interesting, man.
Yeah, it was weird, man. And I just can't, because there's nowhere she could have gone. Like, there was literally, I can't explain it, but there's nowhere she could have disappeared to. So where she went, I don't know. But Jesse brought up an interest, because I was thinking shapeshifter. Jesse brought up that it could have been, I could have seen an apparition, and that even scared a fox out. I don't know. But it was just weird. Because it's not uncommon to see foxes where I live. There's foxes, you see them quite a lot, but yeah.
That's weird as shit, dude. Strange. I live in the sticks and I don't see fucking foxes. I'll see elks, I'll see deer. I don't see any foxes, but that's cool as shit, dude.
Was that your first?
We see coyotes though, like a motherfucker.
Was that your first, Tommy?
The first time I see the fox.
Yeah, or just like something of that nature.
Oh no, I've had quite a few strange experiences. The first time I've seen anything like that could be a possible shapeshifter or something like that. I don't know what it was, but
do you believe in reptilian shapeshifters?
I do.
Like 100%, like David Icke, like not being ironic or metaphorical style.
Well, I've got a friend in London that said he was on. I've never seen anything like that. I would love to, but I've got a friend in London that swears that he was on the tube, on the train, and he was looking at the guy opposite him, and he said he was looking at him, and he said his eyes suddenly went like reptilian, and then went back to normal, and he saw that, and he swears by it. And I believe him. I believe he saw that. But yeah, so I believe there's something. I don't know what, but I believe there's more out there for sure.
I can let my imagination go wild, dude, and I'll start believing some real funky shit. Like I won't call myself a flat earther just because I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But like the other day I was camping and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching the stars and I'm just looking at everything around me. And I swear to God, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I sincerely believe in an Earth-centric model that Earth was created and that everything around us was created for us. Dude, we're not spinning. I swear to God, we're not spinning. It's stationary as fuck. It was still, it was quiet. We're not, like, if
why do you say that though? Why do you say it's stationary with such conviction? Like, why?
Dude, why the fuck aren't the stars spinning? If we are spinning like this, how the fuck can I see a star?
I'm not sure. Because we're not spinning so fast that the stars
we're spinning like
are a
thousands
blur.
of miles an hour.
Yeah, but in proportion to the actual Earth, it's not the same as if like you yourself was spinning thousands of miles per hour. You know what I mean? It's
we're stationary, like, Thomas.
I guess I don't know, man. I'm not sold. You know what it is I'm not passionate enough either way, but I feel like I remember when we started getting a little bit older, right? A lot of people, at least for me, a lot of people's first conspiracy theory is like Santa Claus. And it's like, oh, everyone's in on it. Mom and dad were in on it. The school's in on it. Everyone's in on it. You know what I mean? But I remember this one kid who was theorizing and he came up with the like, well, you know, Santa Claus has got to be BS because one guy can't possibly fly to every house in one night. And it was like, all right. I mean, yeah, under those rules, But that's kind of like a silly way of disproving it. It's the same people like, oh, God can't exist because he can't look at everybody jerking off at the same time. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you expand your understanding for it to mean that maybe it's a little bit more metaphoric, or like he knows because you're part of him. It's like you would know if your fingernail was fucking missing or something, or if like, you stubbed your toe, you would know that even if the toe doesn't know I don't know, but then when people are just like, yeah, the earth is flat 100%, you ain't gonna change my mind no way, no how. You know what I mean? I'm just think like, all right, man, but I don't really have anything invested in it.
I don't have anything invested in it either, to be honest with you. I have no goddamn idea the shape of the earth. The flat earthers make some good points. The round earthers, I think, are, for the most part, liars, dude. Like NASA are all fucking liars. So
NASA are definitely
I don't know.
liars,
I mean,
that's for
to be
sure.
honest, dude, I got no goddamn idea because there's no way I'll ever be able to prove it. I'm not going to get up high enough to be able to see it. So, like, for me, I'm never going to make a truth claim about that. I'm not even making a truth claim that we're not moving. I just think so. That's what my gut tells me. This is clearly an opinion.
The old
That
gut.
we are on a stationary something.
You guys, you speak to different people all the time, like I do. And one night I'll talk to someone who's a flat earther, and they will convince me that the earth is flat. And I'll be like, yeah, do you know what? It's got some good points. And then obviously the next day that can change because you talk to someone else. I just don't know, man. I don't know what to think anymore about anything.
I mean, the problem is, like, the round earthers need a better hero. It's like, what do you guys got? Like Neil deGrasse Tyson and shit? Like, I mean, he's such a fucking liar and such a piece of shit. Like, they need better spokesmen. Like, I wish that, like, because I'm not saying that the earth isn't round. It might be. Fuck if I know. But, like, every single person they put up to bat is like a giant piece of shit. They're all like fucking New World Order, Illuminati cunt, like pieces of shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Thomas,
man.
maybe you need to be that hero. You should win everybody back to the balls.
Again, I don't care enough about it. And if
Yeah.
anything, like, I don't think it's a complete globe either, but I also feel like it's so irrelevant because you already know my mind goes directly to like, all right, you don't believe in infinite space because it's illogical. Let's talk about infinite land. And let's talk about why infinite land is more logical than infinite space.
5-Leaf Clover in the comments says, have you seen the Polaris time-lapse shots? No. I don't even know what the fuck those are.
It's a psyop.
It's a psyop.
Isn't everything a psyop?
I mean, I'd say 79% of things are a psyop.
If the
Is that
sun
an
is
Illuminati
localized, then everything's a psyop in the sky. Is what a number? I mean, every number is an Illuminati number too, though, right?
That's the wildest shit. Yeah. If I said any number, if I said 78, they'd be like, well, did you know that something or other died at 78 and that there's 78 days in the fucking solar calendar?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I got my occult decode site that I've been working on. So if I type in 78, then dude, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez equals 78 in Chaldean. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, that means that 78 is clearly demonic because of a nightmare. Columbine High School is 78. So I mean, yeah, bro, it's so easy to just like connect things together. It's kind of fun though, you know what I mean? It's like pick up.
I love it. Nightmare on Elm Street, AOC, and fucking was it Sandy Hook? What was it?
Order of the Illuminati
Columbine.
is also 78 in Chaldean. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Illuminati confirmed, bro. There's
Illuminati confirmed.
I wish I was
love
making
it.
this up. That's 100% true.
Us mentioning Columbine, that's what's gonna get this video taken down.
And also, just to put a cap on this, WrestleMania 33 spelt out is also 78 in Chaldean. So there you go.
Oh shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm convinced.
33.
And the only reason why I bring up the number 78 is because I'm also one of them. Hold on, let me put a triangle around my eye. Here we go. Somebody's gonna fucking take a screen.
Gotcha,
I
you
swear to
bastard.
God, Tommy, I fucking scratched my eye once. I went like this, and somebody screenshotted it.
No, you got the one.
It was fucking saying I was in the Illuminati. I was like, I wish I was that cool. I mean, there is people in my inbox all the time like, do you want to join the something Illuminati? Yeah, dude, do you ever get those?
Yeah, I had one today, man. Funny enough.
It's like chain mail. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. Might be interesting to get in there and just see what's going on.
It's always like oddly attractive chicks that'll add you on Instagram that have like a shit ton of fucking followers, and then you fucking, I guess you add them back, and then you get a message instantly. They're like, "Do you want to join the Brotherhood of the Illuminati? We can make you famous, and you can become a celebrity," and all kinds of weird shit. And it's always the same fucking message from different fucking accounts.
Yeah.
It's legit as fuck, dude.
It's got to work. It's the only reason that they're still sending them.
Yeah. I'll fall for it every time, man. Every time.
I've joined like 100 times at this point. Yeah.
I think I am a part of the Illuminati.
One out of all those 100, one of them had to be the real one, right?
Oh shit, man. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I can't ever fucking say that I know the shape of the earth, because I don't even think this place is real. Like, I hate to go back to simulation theory because that's like that's so fucking like played. But like I don't know. I kind of think that this is all just a fucking video game. Like, maybe this is just mental illness, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm mentally ill. But like ever since I was a little kid, this is like some sort of like schizo narcissism or something. Before I had ever even seen Thomas, what's that movie with Jim Carrey? That's a fucking fantastic movie, by the way.
Ventura?
And Cameron Diaz has never been hotter than The Mask. She was like literally the hottest woman alive.
And something about Mary.
Yeah, there's something about Mary. She was gorgeous, dude. But rewatch her in The Mask. Jesus fucking Christ.
Once Bitten? I think it was his first movie.
No, what's the one where I think it's Jim Carrey? Yeah, it is. The one where
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. There you go. Like, I swear to God, when I was a kid, I thought I was like in the Truman Show. I was like, this is all fake. This is a reality show. There's cameras on me all the time. Like, I always thought that before even the movie came out. I was like a little kid, and I used to like fucking tell my followers and listeners, like, this is how we're combing our hair today. I'd be like talking to myself in the mirror and be like,
I think that's a very juvenile look at the world, not in like an idiot way. Although, yeah, it is a little bit of an idiot way. But like, as a kid, you are the center of it. And I mean, unless you're just like thrown out into the streets like a true Disney, child, where like the parents just get murdered or whatever. But for the most part, even if you have a neglectful family, just being a kid in America, at least during like the 50s through today, you become the center of attention for legal purposes now, right? But that kind of molds these kids into thinking like, oh, I'm just a brain in a vat, and everyone here is here for my entertainment, and that teacher's not even real. They're just here to like, suit my needs or something. And I think that over time, most people have those same exact thoughts, but you tend to grow out of them at a certain point when you start interacting with the world, and you're like, damn, this place is huge, bro. There's a lot of people. Why would they have more people than you've ever met and that you'll ever meet in your entire life in so many different places just to serve Nate's brain in a vat,
Because I'm fucking awesome.
Well,
no, I mean,
it's funny too, because there was like
extension?
There's like a Goosebumps
I mean, is it just an
novel about this
extension?
exact thing.
Yeah. I mean, Thomas, is that just an extension where people are like making up that like people are NPCs and that we are like stuck in a fucking like that's kind of like I'm the only important one. Everybody else is NPCs.
Snowflake. Yeah, dude,
yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, I'm sort of doing the same thing where I'm like, Earth is the only thing that matters, and the universe revolves around us.
I'm trying to find. There was one about like a camp or something. It was like a literal Goosebumps novel that talked about that exact thing, where this kid finds out at a certain point that everyone at this summer camp was pretending, like putting on this act just for him, because he kind of like discovers it, and then he finds out that like his parents were in on it. Like everyone in his entire life has always just been pretending to be him. And I always thought that was such an amazing thing. But also when I read that, it blew my mind as like, like a 10-year-old reading this Goosebumps novel, discovering philosophy for the first fucking time and through R.L. Stein or whatever. But it's that the whole solipsism brain in a vat thing is fascinating. But I also think that the simulation theory, it's just like a lot of fucking stroking yourself off and like everyone's here for my entertainment.
Okay. But it might actually be a simulation, Thomas. Back to being a narcissistic schizo, I guess.
But that it doesn't answer any questions. That makes more questions, right? Simulation for what? Who's running the simulation? Our bodies outside the simulation? Did we like voluntarily put ourselves into this thing? And if not, is it unwilling? And if so, what's the difference? If the simulation is so good, then who cares?
I mean, well, there is something to that, right? Where it's like, homie's like, this steak looks real, it tastes real. I can cut it, I can eat it. When I put it in my mouth, it's like,
Right,
you know what I mean?
I got a fucking stretched analogy here, but I think it's kind of perfect. So there's this concept that you kind of get a hall pass, you get a get out of jail at a free card if you die and go to hell, like in the Christian faith. But if you didn't know about Jesus, then you kind of automatically get to go to heaven, right? So in that case, they're not bad. So if you don't know about the steak not being real, then you're not a bad person because you don't even know about the simulation. The second you know about the simulation,
how fucked that is. All of those missionaries that like went
to
an island.
That's it, dude. Is that like the missionaries show up to Africa and now everyone's going to hell? They all would have went to heaven, but just because the missionary was like, hey, there's a guy named Jesus. Hey, there's a guy named Jesus. Hey, there's a guy named Jesus. Those three people just went to hell now if they didn't end up going. So anyways, I feel like it's that same analogy where like if you know about the steak and you go back for the steak, now you're an asshole. But if you eat the steak and didn't know about the steak, you're not an asshole. It's flaky logic, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like end justifies the means. If you're eating the steak, you're no better or worse than someone that knew about it or didn't know about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a hardcore individualist, and I don't know, man. I don't give a shit. I don't hold it against homie that went back in the Matrix and fucking went back for steak.
Cypher. I think his name was Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher. Whatever.
Enjoy the steak.
Enjoy your steak, dude. I get it. I mean, like, didn't he was like, because he was like making his terms. He's like, I want like I want to be rich. I want a sexy wife.
So
I was like,
I'm
give
just
me a
curious.
fucking 2-foot dong.
What if they snap you out of the Matrix, right? You go through the weird little alien fucking toilet system and they pop you out and they're like, all right, you're out of the simulation. Finally,
And the only woman available is Trinity.
Well,
like,
it's that, but then it's
fuck?
like Hillary Clinton runs the entire the entire planet. Everyone eats bugs because that's what the overlords say, is that we all own nothing and be happy. Or you can jump back in and have a steak and go and fire M16 in the simulation. I don't know, man. That's more than just a steak. That's like, maybe reality isn't any better than the simulation. Maybe the people that built the simulation were onto something and we've just villainized them over time.
Well, it's even weirder if we chose this and it's this shitty. Like, because how much worse is real reality?
Yeah.
I mean, this could be like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're having fun. I like this.
You're getting into Gnostic goober territory, though.
I know, dude. I got called out hard. Somebody was like, fucking, what did they call me? A Gnostic goober libertarian. Like, you're not entirely wrong.
And just so I can go to sleep tonight, that Goosebumps was called Welcome to Camp Nightmare. So yeah, if you want to teach your kids about philosophy of solipsism, that Goosebumps book is like chef's kiss.
Yeah, man. I've still got that book somewhere.
Really?
I was gonna say, dude, I might too.
I love Goosebumps. I had them all.
You got somebody that agrees with you, Thomas. You said
Smart
exactly
man.
why we
A man
aren't living
of
in
culture
simulation.
and knowledge.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic, dude. I love those old movies. All right, the old movies. Like the TV show is fucking phenomenal too.
man.
But, like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of those old books. Dude.
How old are you, Tommy?
So I'm 36. So I'm,
Okay,
I'm
we're about the same.
90s was my kid time.
What was
Yeah,
what
like-
was your programming like Saturday morning cartoon style and like movies and everything? Like what
Was
did
it
you
different in England? I'm
No, I
curious.
think pretty much just Saved by the Bell. Did you?
really? That blows my
Yeah.
mind.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I mean, I'm getting this I think we're pretty much the same, like all that sort of thing.
Was there anything uniquely like English that maybe Americans missed out on, like
Ooh.
cultural phenomenons that we didn't get to partake
Did you
in?
watch? Did you grow with Jimmy Savile? Was he before you?
He was just before me, thankfully. Well, no, he was still around, but I think the Jim Will Fix It or whatever they called it, that show was before me. But yeah, man, he's a weird geezer, obviously.
Was he like a Mr. Rogers or something?
That's exactly what I was going to ask Thomas, and I was fucking forgetting his name. Yeah, was he like that? Like, was he?
He was, because obviously when he was alive, people thought he was some sort of hero. Like he'd done stuff for charities, and there was a lot of rumors that he was like a bit of a gangster. Like you didn't want to mess with him. There was always that about him. But obviously the things that he got up to, the sick things that he did, obviously didn't come out until he passed. And that just shows you really that
what kind of gangster? Like would he stab you or something if you crossed him?
There was rumor that if you mess with him, and that explains why nothing came out when he was, still alive. Because if you mess with him, he obviously was in there.
I don't want to venerate Jimmy Savile or anything, but I'm just thinking like a badass Mr. Rogers that might shank you sounds like a pretty fucking badass show, man.
Thomas, can you Google this? I've heard fucking stories about Mr. Roger punching a Nazi. Have you heard this?
Was it at an
I'm
Antifa
curious
rally?
about that. But back to Jimmy Savile, like he had fucking connections with the royal family.
Oh,
like,
man,
like that dude was like, he was super.
He
like,
had some power, and weird geezer, obviously, weird guy.
I don't think that's true, by the way.
He was
Nate.
fucking hideous. Was he fucking little boys or little girls, or was he just like anything?
I think it was anything, man. Yeah.
Was it a heroin night or a cocaine night?
Speedballs.
Yeah. But he was in with the Royals. Obviously he had a lot of power for some reason, and people were scared of him.
Yep.
I lost you there, guys. Yeah, I think he was just obviously an absolute wrong-un.
Oh, for sure, dude. I mean, it is funny how that kind of shit works, where they talk about like different like scientific theories or even like archaeological theories or even like all kinds of different things. That you have to wait for someone to die before like mainstream theories will change and things like that. And so how like Jimmy Savile, we had to wait for him to die to find out all the fucking dirt on him. I wonder how many of these freaks that like are in Congress or these people like when are we gonna fucking see the skeletons fall out of that closet?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
When are the JFK files going to come out? Same question.
Yeah.
Well, the whole reason why that hasn't really come out, I guess, is because, I mean, it just implicates the United States so fucking much. Because there's no fucking way that they let him die accidentally. Like,
well, there you go, Jimmy Savile and everything else. I mean, you could probably throw in Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein and all the royals into that too.
It'll piss off some people. There's some serious connections between RFK and Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. He was on their fucking boat. He was on the fucking plane. He's been on the fucking island. Him and Ghislaine are fucking homies. They used to hang out. I think he used to fuck Ghislaine Maxwell back in the day.
Jesus.
Like, it's pretty wild. Let's see here. Somebody just said, LOL, if that's the case, then we're going to come out on Hunter once he's gone. Probably, yeah, man. The media doesn't really talk too much about the other fucking photos that were like found from that laptop. Like, there's like, and some of them I haven't even seen. I just heard about, and because I was really careful about like when all of those photos like dropped, and you could find them all on Telegram and shit. But I was like, I don't want to see some of them because you can get implicated by just like having that on your phone and looking at it. Yeah. So
but they won't prosecute the actual people in the photos, but
exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
like I've heard the stories. Okay, sorry, YouTube. I'm probably gonna get banned right now. Okay, but like I've heard legit stories about like him getting a foot jigger, right? And there's like it's clearly a black girl's foot on his schwanz, and they're saying that that was Malia Obama or one of them. So it was her underage giving him a foot job, and like if that's true, like I don't know how you prove it, but like I think he was hanging out with her. I even think like he like took some selfies with her, and then he has got like a black girl give him a foot job, or a black person, I guess, with a small foot.
There's a lot of connections that are being, thrown together there, though.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I'm throwing out.
This was based on her name was apparently on like a credit card that was in one of the photos that had like a line next to it.
He was like chopping up coke.
But I think, at least Snopes was like that's been butchered. So, and Snopes only puts the truth out.
Snopes only puts out the truth. So never mind. I was just kidding.
I'm curious too, though.
There's some wild shit on there. Okay, how about this one, Thomas? Like, I haven't heard any good explanations for this. Like, I mean, this is innocent enough. It's not illegal. You can't like the. Anyways, the green screen.
This already sounds like it's going to be really nice.
There. Yeah. I'm putting up quotes for the audio listeners. Wink, 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 wink. This is innocent, I guess.
You nod at the drive-through. Like, do you want to supersize that? He's like.
Mm-hmm. So he's sitting there, he's like laying on a couch, and there's a bunch of like girls that look anywhere from like 8 to 12, and there's like probably like 6 of them like sitting on the couch with him, like in all different positions, and they all have their feet on him. Now the girls aren't naked, they're all clothed and stuff, and like they're like in shorts and like t-shirts or whatever, but who the fuck, like, I'm not letting a bunch of kids put their feet on me. First of all, I think that was gross because kids are fucking disgusting. They're just germ bag, disgusting fucks. But secondly, like, I just explain that to me. Why and who's taking the photo? They're like, this is a great shot. let's fucking take a picture of this. With like 6 different, like all clearly underage with their feet on all over. He's like sitting there with his shirt off, and they all have their feet on his chest.
So
what
weird,
the fuck is that about?
I didn't know that this was the topic of the podcast tonight. I would have came more prepared.
It's crazy.
I got a feeling too that if you look at the trajectory over time, right? Hollywood and musicians, if anything, they want to end up becoming politicians. You almost never see a politician get into Hollywood or become like a musician. And I think outside of the money and the power and everything, the politicians are the only one that can actually party like rock stars anymore. Like if you want to party like Jimmy Page used to party, you pretty much can only do it through political connections now. You can't do it out in the open the way that they used to. So I think that's part of it. Like Hunter is very much, he's like a modern Jimmy Page, or the closest you're going to get to it, but it happens behind closed doors now.
I'm either showing my ignorance or my age. Who's Jimmy Page?
Led Zeppelin?
Okay. I mean, I've definitely heard of Led Zeppelin. And I've heard a Led Zeppelin song. Yeah.
Surely though, Hunter Biden's he's gonna get what's coming to him soon. Surely he can't keep getting away with it, can he?
Oh no, I mean karma's real. Yeah, of course.
He's got to get. He's.
You think so, Thomas? I don't think anything is gonna happen to him, dude.
I wanted to ask Tommy too, just because I'm fascinated with like culture and upbringing and just like our perspectives on each other's cultures, I guess. How many people actually give a shit about monarchy in like normal everyday life? Is it anyone at all? Is it seen as like a symbolic thing, or because we go ape shit over here, bro? Like we fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I mean it's 50-50. You do get people that love it, that put the flags up, that collect all the ornaments and all that sort of stuff. But personally, for me, I mean, I'm not into it at all.
You got the plates and the forks. You don't gotta lie.
Yeah, that's it. It's all over there. I think they're all lizard people. That's just my opinion. But
do you believe in dinosaurs?
I don't know, man. I think there's dinosaurs still around now in some places.
Okay, I know. I like that. That's actually a more interesting answer.
I believe in some dinosaurs, and I do think that there is a couple dinosaurs still around right now. Mbele Tepe or whatever the fuck his name is in Congo.
The Congo, yeah, man. I've spoken to
he looks like a long
military that say that.
Yeah. And shout out to Ben, dude.
Yeah, shout out Ben, Anomaly Hunter. He just put out a new book that's amazing about that exact topic about dinosaurs still alive today.
Yeah, it's
That's
fucking
man.
awesome, dude. He just what's the name of his book? I should really I should be promoting it way more, dude, because he's a homie. But anyways, yeah, Ben is the fucking shit. He just put out a book. So shout out to Ben Ingram Tejada. Everybody go fucking buy his book. It's a cryptozoologist guide to like unexplained weird shit or something like that. It's pretty fucking badass. But anyways, yeah, where do you fit on outer space and aliens and all that fun stuff, buddy?
Well, I've seen UFOs personally. I've seen things up there that I can't explain. When I was 14 years old, I saw what I can only describe as a building in the sky. I'd like an office building, and it was like
that.
It was crazy, man. And this was obviously before we had phone. I couldn't take pictures of it. But the weird thing is so a group of us, we were just playing football in the street, and we've looked up and we've seen this thing in the sky, and it just looked like, the only way I can describe it now is like if you take a building from Dubai, you know, like a weird shaped building that's a bit futuristic. It was just like that, but in the sky and just floating. And we're all looking at it, we're trying to work out what it was. It wasn't moving. And we was watching it for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And then we just started playing football again, which is crazy, I know. But I sort of forgot about this experience and didn't really think about it much. And then at the start of doing podcasts and stuff, I'm talking about this stuff all the time. And it came back to me, and I was on a show and I just started talking about it. And my brother listened to the show as well. And he rang me up the next day and he was like, "Bruv, I remember seeing that. What was that? What was that in the sky?" And I was like, "I'm so glad that you've remembered as well. That I'm just not going crazy and had this mad memory." But yeah, man. So that was my first ever UFO experience. And it was pretty crazy, really. I had no idea what it was. Didn't see it. Like if it happened now, I'd be sitting there watching it until it disappeared or whatever. But at the time, we just wanted to play football again. So we was watching it for like 10 minutes, whatever it was, and we went back to football, which is crazy, I know. But
how big would you say this was?
It was big. It was quite far in the distance, but it was big, and it was like a silvery orange color.
Interesting. Silvery orange is also fucking fascinating. There is some like significance to that. Was it like hiding amongst the clouds, or was it out in the open?
No, it was a beautiful. I remember it was a beautiful summer's day, and it was just blue sky, and it was just this orange, silvery thing floating.
That's super fucking fascinating, man. Because I love the idea. Like I grew up watching this stupid movie called Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great fucking movie. And I love the idea of like ancient, old, crazy technology and anti-grav stuff. And Thomas, we got to talk about something later. I'll tell you about it when we're done recording. I'll even talk to you about it, Tommy, too. Yeah, I love that shit, dude. Antiquitech, you know, of like old fucking cities that are hiding in the sky. And I was always thinking they were hiding behind clouds and stuff, but who the fuck knows, dude? I had a similar experience with a UFO, I guess. That's the only thing that was similar, actually, because it was not a fucking building. But
are we talking about like cool, Superman, dude. Crystal Palace type stuff?
Yeah, man. That's how it looked. Like it just looked like a futuristic building that you'd see in Dubai. That's how I describe it.
So I've had some friends, and actually I think we're gonna have them back on here pretty soon. But they've described these sites that have been seen, or like whatever, these paranormal sightings that people have seen in the sky, and there's a connection with the color orange, because you're talking about this orange and silver, and this has a connection to like the divine feminine and like this feminine energy and this goddess coming back, and it's super fascinating. I don't know where I fall on that, but he was describing it, and it's like because I guess they can all be described in a similar way. Like, Thomas, what was the one? So like Guadalupe was the one in Mexico. What was the one in Spain, Thomas? Do you know what I'm talking about? The UFOs that were just the little girl saw Mary come. And
Oh yeah. And there was also like a big school where like a bunch of people all saw
And-
something too, right?
Yep. And so there's all this stuff, but I think there was like an orange light included in that too. It's really fucking fascinating that like, and there's supposed to be this coming age of like the goddess of the divine feminine coming back.
Blue beam.
And-
That's all it is.
I don't know.
Blue beam.
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting idea, but apparently, like you'll see her with like these orange lights and these orange orbs that you'll see in the sky. Pretty fucking neat, pretty fucking fascinating. And maybe that was her palace, dude. Who knows?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'd love to see. I've seen other, what I would say, UFOs in the sky, but nothing like that.
Yeah, I saw like an interesting, like giant bright orb that was moving like peculiarly and acting really bizarre. I actually found the video and I downloaded it. So like I might play it on here one of these days. I don't know. I think I could probably play it on here. I could figure out how to do that. But yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. Yeah, I still have no idea what the fuck it was. Me and my wife, we were on like it wasn't our honeymoon. What do you call that? When you guys are on an anniversary trip and we were camping in the middle of fucking nowhere and we're sitting there by the fire and this light comes off like off the horizon sort of, and then it just like, and at first we thought it was like kind of like a star or something, or even like, but it was close to us. It was just like a really bright like flashlight, almost, because it was so low to the ground, and then it like got up into the sky and like came towards us. And some people might say it was like a drone, but like there was zero sound. And maybe they have silent ass drones, and I have no fucking idea. But this thing, like, I felt a presence, and it was like fucking with us.
Interesting.
So maybe some goober voyeur that was like, what? I mean, because I'm sure I was sitting there. Anytime like we're on an anniversary trip, we camp in the middle of fucking nowhere. I was completely naked. I think my wife was naked. I was sitting there with like, I had a belt on and a gun on my hip, and I'm just sitting there dick out.
That's cool, man.
And so maybe they just wanted to see my sweet dong. Maybe it was like some creep voyeur with a fucking silent drone that was just like zooming in on my cock. It's possible. Yeah, but I thought it was a UFO. Man. Now, I don't know how to connect that with aliens, but I think UFOs are real, and I don't know about aliens.
Dude, I love the solipsism of this story too, where it's like aliens traveled from just millions of light years away, expending God knows how much energy in the process. Yeah, just to fucking zoom in on Nate's little cock. Yeah,
my sweet, delicious beaner cock.
You said they had to zoom in, so I'm just going off what you said.
It drew them there in the first place.
It drew them there. They were looking. There was like the international or the intergalactic Guinness Book of World Records for the smallest penis in the galaxy.
They thought it was an obelisk. Okay, it was drawing the UFOs
in.
Okay. I've had some other UFO experiences. If you want to hear them.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Man.
So when I was in Brentwood, which is just outside London, basically, not far from London, we used to live in a block of flats, and I was on the top floor, but it was only 4 floors high, so it wasn't super high. And me and my mother-in-law was looking out the window, and we had sort of like it wasn't a massive forest, but like a bit of a forest opposite the flats, and 3, what I can only like, they were like balls, basically, silver balls, came out of the forest, and me and my mother-in-law was watching this, and we was like, what is that? And there was 3 of them, and they were sort of moving around each other, and they were changing shape constantly, and they were like a silvery color. I always say, you know when the Terminator melts, that sort of color, that's how they looked, and that's how they were moving,
like Mercury.
Yeah,
the T1000 to be specific.
Yeah. And they were just constantly changing shape. Like they weren't solid, but they were just moving around each other and going up and up and up. And we're watching it, and we're like, what is it? Is it a balloon? Are they balloons? And we're trying to work out what it was. Couldn't work. You just couldn't work it out because they were constantly changing. And it was just going up and up and up and up. And then all of a sudden, they just went flash, 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 and shot off. And that was really cool. And it was just cool that me and my mother-in-law, because we both to this day are like, what was that? We don't know, but we don't know what it was. It was very interesting, man.
Thomas, have you had any weird paranormal experiences, things that you can't explain?
I have never really. I lost a toy when I was a young kid. It just disappeared in front of my eyes, and I never found it again. But other
You mean
than
it
that
just
one,
disappeared? Like you had it in your hand and then you just
like it was in front of me. I turned my head, I looked back, and it was gone. And I searched the house for it for years. Even when we moved years later, I looked for it. I never found it anywhere. That's always got to me. But also, I don't know, maybe like I got kidnapped and abused, and then like they arranged the room back and they forgot to put the one thing back, and that's just like the glitch in the Matrix. But no, man, although I don't discount, I'm definitely hardcore skeptic. But when I was in the military and on the way out in the Air Force, I ran into a lot of like the OGs that had been in there forever. And every dude that I had talked to that was like grizzled all believed in UFOs. Like every single one of them, they had all been on some weird mission where someone saw something, or they weren't allowed to go in, or like they were told they didn't see something that they did see, even if they didn't know what it was. So just the number of, I guess people that I gave enough, credit to. Although if you just believe that NASA's projecting holograms, and I guess I don't believe any of the first sergeants or like the colonels or anyone like the lieutenant colonels that I interacted with daily that told me this kind of stuff, but it's other people's stories that make me believe more than a lot of things. But it also, like you mentioned, the little girl in Guadalupe, right? It always blows my mind that we rely on our concepts of futuristic people and like the most advanced technology we could even fathom that we can't even fathom. And it's like, yeah, I heard about this story from this poor peasant girl in South America. And that's what bases, my belief in aliens and high technology is the story of this peasant girl in a different country.
Thomas doesn't believe her because she's Mexican.
give me an American story. Give me the Bubble Boy.
Somebody could have just paid her in tacos and she would have said anything. Fucking A, dude.
It's interesting because most people you talk to, like, most people have had some sort of paranormal experience. There's not many people that have had nothing that's happened.
I don't really count my disappearing toy as like a paranormal thing, no. But I mean, like, I've been to seances. I've gone to some of the most haunted places you can imagine. In San Antonio specifically, a lot of people died there in all of the wars and everything. I mean, I've been to Germany. I've been to the Berlin Wall. I've been to places that are supposed to be incredibly haunted. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm like inviting demonic possession or anything, but like I stole a fragment of skull from the catacombs. I mean, I've done like little things that probably should have, maybe they are, maybe there's, maybe there's like something behind me, you know what I mean? But I just don't believe that there's like kind of like Nate was saying, is there going to be any punishment for Jimmy Savile? No, because I don't think that there's this ultimate karmic balance that gets restored through the conventional eyes of like human justice. You know what I mean? I think that's such a flippant and silly convention. There might be some kind of balance of energy or something, but I don't think like a person that does something mean in this life has something mean done to them or anything like that.
It's a weird thing, man, because like the way I was raised, I still have so much like indoctrination, like Christian indoctrination. Like I am a Christian, like I consider myself a Christ follower. I love Jesus and things like that. But I've had so many things crammed down my throat and through my head. I have to sometimes go through like what I actually believe and ask myself why. Like why the fuck do I believe that? Is it because like my crazy Zionist mother told me that, or is it because like I actually believe this to my core? It's why I'm a weird like schizo Christian that believes in reincarnation. But like I think possibly, I don't know, Thomas, you think that there's like, so if, let's just say this is just a flash in the pan, you get one chance, for some reason we're some sort of monkeys that have developed sentience, and then like there is no such thing as spirit and we just fucking die and we just like rot in the earth, then there is no karmic justice. There is nothing. And so why not? Why not steal, kill, destroy, rape, do whatever the fuck you want, get to the top? And maybe that's where we get politicians. That's where we get like schizo nuts that like run the fucking world that become
I mean,
billionaires.
if I can be honest on that question, we'll ask Tommy his answer too. And I just mean, but like, if someone were asking me that question, it's because I'd probably rather play GTA than actually go out and like have to do it. It sounds like a lot of work to actually rape and kill and destroy and steal. And I don't know, man. I feel like I would still rather just have like a conventional, you know, like non-anarchistic life. Like I want to play GTA, not be in GTA.
But
That's
if
my
this is
answer, at
all
least.
this- it is. We are in GTA. I guess there's just no reset. You just get the one fucking game. You get the one shot. You get one turn, Thomas. You only get one shot. What are you going to do with it?
This is your moment.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love it.
Better
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, what about
I
you,
don't know,
Tommy? If the rules were all off and it was the purge rules, would you start raping and murdering nonstop? Because it's the only thing that's
Okay,
preventing
Tommy,
you
who's the
is-
first person you're raping?
It can be a murder rape. It can be both at the same time.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think I would. I don't know. I think I believe that there's more, that we go on to more. That's just my personal belief.
I do too. But
I
we're
think so
playing
too.
devil's advocate, Tommy. So who's getting the D?
My boss,
Nice.
he's getting chopped. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I like to think that there's more after this. I do believe there is. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people about it. I've had experiences myself, which makes me think there's more. So I don't know, man. But I've got kids as well. I think that makes you soft as well. And I feel like that softens you up.
Well, I
Since
mean,
I've
in a
had
lot of
kids.
ways, I think that is the true immortality, and that's the way that you live forever, is by having kids and you like keep your lineage going and things like that. That is like, because when I have two boys, and when I see them, I see my little fucking mini me's, dude. Like they don't look like me, but well, my second doesn't look like me at all because my wife is like white as fuck, and so my little boy. He's a little Scottish boy, and he has fucking blue eyes and fucking blonde hair. He looks like fucking Hitler's wet dream, which is pretty wild. But he has my fucking attitude. He's such a shithead. He's already such a fucking little dick, and it's wonderful, dude. Yeah, he's chugging vodka. He's chugging titty milk, trying to impress people right now. Puking all over his mom.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude.
And I don't want to misconstrue like not being into woo-woo and like ultra spiritualism and reincarnation and stuff is like not thinking there's something afterwards. If anything, it would be easier to convince me that we're astral poop, right? There's a Rosicrucian concept that this like spirit energy or whatever it is, once it gets close to say Earth or this big planetary body that can sustain life, it kind of like sucks that energy in. As the energy gets closer to the material world, it almost like coats it in like extra layers of shit. One of the writers described it as like gloves. Imagine if you put one glove on or one condom on, right, Nate? We'll put it on Nate terms. You put one condom on, you're like, oh, it doesn't feel as good. Well, now put like 90 condoms on. Like, how much sensation do you feel at that point? And that's kind of what a human body is. And it's almost just like the big chunky turd that floats and like doesn't float and sinks to the bottom, right? And all the other little animals and flora and fauna are like the little lettuce piece and corn chunks and stuff. But like humanity has the most, density, I guess, of all of that. But it's really not the poop part that's good. It's kind of like the thing that made it and like the system that it's part of. But I think that we're like so obsessed with ourselves that we think we're like these divine creatures when really we might just be like crusty chunks of, turd that's wrapped around the good part. And that when this is all over, like you get to go back to the good part and not be weighed down by all this shit.
Well, dude, I totally believe that. I mean, to me, that's heaven. I have a weird idea of like the creator, where I don't necessarily think it's a dude that you can look at. I think the creator is like the infinite. Like the creator is the universe. Always has and always will be. Always was. Always is this huge giant like everything, and like kind of shat us into existence like as an. I don't know. I mean, there's that whole idea of like.
So
God
Peter's
created
gate
us
is like a
to-
blockage. Like you've got like you need to call the plumber.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's fascinating that like we're all pieces of God experiencing things because he was bored and wanted to see like running scenarios, and maybe that's a simulation. We're all just like in like some drunk dude's dream. I don't know, but we're all just little pieces of him, and we all go back to source. That whole idea, like that little piece of good floating in the, like we're rolled up in a dog shit right now. I mean, that's the kind of like the scary thought when you start thinking about that way, like Gnostically, and you think about like, well, I mean, they think.
Oh God, we did get into Gnostic goober territory, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this podcast is.
That's a new podcast.
Gnostic goober.
Gnostic
territory.
goobers.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's fascinating, but like you can quickly like convince someone to just off themselves because they're like, wow, we're just gonna get recycled anyways, and maybe next time it's gonna be better. Yeah, this time sucks. You're kind of a loser and you're fat and you kind of have man tits. Nobody loves you. Like, I don't know, just fucking kill yourself. It'll be better next time. You're just gonna like, anyways. Anybody listening, don't do that. I love you. We love you. Don't kill yourself.
I wanted to ask Tommy too before we get too off the rails, but like another thing that comes up a lot when Nate and I talk, especially when it's like people in America, there's a much stronger religious component sometimes, or at least more likely to be one. And I guess my impression of especially like London and maybe not Europe as a whole, but like England and UK, that it's a lot more like atheistic there. There's far less kind of like, I don't even know if you've got Bible thumpers or if they're just like relegated to their, like, like how we would see almost like Orthodox or something. But yeah. Is that a dynamic that you deal with? Are you like atheist? Are you Christian? Like what's the general temperature?
So I wasn't brought up really in a religious family, but I would say I'm Christian. But I'm not. I don't go to church and stuff like that. But I believe in God and things like that. But
is that a minority?
I would say I'm probably a minority, yeah. But I think a lot of people in the UK don't like talking about their religion and stuff. I don't know what it is. It's sort of like a subject that people don't really talk about, which I found because I'm talking to a lot of people in the US now. People are so open to talk about their religious beliefs, and I think that's great.
It's kind of our thing, right? It's kind of like the whole thing we were based on.
In the UK,
I think that's why Americans are considered so rude and uncouth, because we talk about things like politics, religion and like sex positions and like fart porn and weird stuff. And British people are like, "What the hell? We just like our potatoes with no salt."
I love it.
Like, leave us alone.
I love it.
That's so funny.
See, some of my closest friends probably wouldn't know that I believe in God, and that's just how it is in the UK. We just don't talk about stuff like that. So I'll say that obviously a lot of people go to church in the UK, and there is obviously a lot of religious people, but it's just not spoken about as much, I would say, as in the US.
What about superstition in general? Like even with like atheists, are there any like typical superstitions that most people believe regardless of religion?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people have got their superstitions.
Are there any specific ones that might not be like familiar to us?
Umbrella in the house. Would you guys open up an umbrella in the house?
I think we know about that one. And you don't walk under a ladder. You can't break a mirror.
The mirror 7 years bad luck. Yeah.
But is there not one like I don't know, fucking look a crow in the eye?
We sort of derived our history from England, so like
we're pretty much the same. We watch the same TV. I think we're pretty close. I would say. I think that's something I've learned from doing the podcast, and I've always had American friends, but meeting more people, we're the same, man. We are the same.
We just gotta teach you guys how to speak properly, and then it'll be all good.
Yeah, that's it. That's
we have to teach you guys English, and then it'll be
good. For sure, man.
Do people
how
have
the fuck did it originate in
England?
And we speak it better than you guys?
I know. And you spell it better because when I'm writing stuff, the American way, there's certain words you spell different. And it makes.
Why do you guys
sense.
put a U in color?
I know, man.
It's more work.
Yeah, honor, things like that. Mum, mum, mom. But
you guys say mum and spell it mum? Do you guys?
Yeah, MUM in the UK, man. It's,
Interesting.
I prefer your way. I do it the American way, man.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I wish you could come out here too, dude. I swear to God, I thought you were already in the United States.
Yeah, where would you go if someone was like, you can go to five places,
Well,
like, expenses paid, and congratulations, because Nate is gonna. No, I'm just kidding. But like, what 5 places would you go?
I go to LA, New York. I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. I'd love to go to Minnesota and watch the Vikings play. Where else? Chicago. I'd like to go to Chicago. I'd love to go all over America. I want to do Route 66. I'd love to do that.
It's funny because like I don't think most Americans would say LA and New York anymore, just because these cities are so fucked up. I don't think they are what they used to be. They're like a husk of what they used to be. Dude, like 2020 kind of fucked the cities up. Portland used to be such a fun place to go. Used to be such a cool place, dude. And there used to be like attractive girls, and it used to be like a fun place to go to. Now it's just like it's all like angry trannies with masks on their face. I swear to God. Like Portland is like you walk like I'll go into a store. Like I'll tell you, because I was just in Portland the other day. I was with my teenage son, and like we were gonna go get some snacks and shit. And there was like this sign on the door, and it's like, I mean, maybe it's like that in London. I think it's all big cities, but it's just like masks are no longer required, but they're strongly, like in giant words, encouraged. And I'm just like, anywhere else in my little podunk state, they don't play that shit. But in Portland, it's just gross, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting how certain areas, because I would say in the UK now, most people are like done with all that masks and all stuff. And I can't touch wood. I can't ever see that happening again here. Personally,
is that also a thing that's not polite to bring up in conversation there?
Well, I mean, obviously 2020 changed everywhere. Everywhere changed. And, I think the mask thing, that was just, that still bugs me now, man. That still bugs me now, the masks. If I see someone with a mask now, I think bad things of them. I shouldn't. I know that's bad.
I got a slight tangent, but we're about similar age, and I remember that right around 9/11 there was another event called 7/7, right? That was the underground train event that was in there. Was that as big of an event for UK citizens, and did people look at that like an inside job, or was that just like a weird conspiracy theory fringe thing?
Yeah, and for everybody that doesn't know what the fuck that is, you want to tell us what that is? Because I had no idea what we're talking
so
about.
So that was the underground bombings that happened in London.
Right, on 7/7.
Was it the Irish?
And it was like Train 7/7. No, it was supposed to be another like extension of the fucking whatever War on Terror. They hate us for our freedom thing.
Yeah, it was big, obviously.
Okay, because I kind of cheer it on when it's the IRA. Because like I get it.
Yeah, we know.
And like anytime I hear about like the horrific violence they did, I'm like, yes. Anyway, sorry.
that was big when that happened in London. I was pretty close to it at the time when it happened, but not as big as 9/11. It didn't have that impact.
Right, but I wonder, were you suspicious of it like immediately? Did you see the conspiracy movies? Does anyone even talk about it anymore, or is that just like an old thing that everyone forgets about?
Yeah, that doesn't really get talked about much, the 7/7. I wasn't, I've always been a bit of a conspiracy theorist, obviously, but it wasn't really until 2019 that I really went full blown, saw it for what I believe what it is.
Was it because of the pandemic?
Yeah, for sure. For me, that was the final, because I've always been interested in conspiracy theories. Obviously 9/11, the conspiracy theories around that, which I believe, I've always been on that side of things. But 2019, when that happened, that changed everything for me personally. That's when I really saw it for I was like, you know what? The conspiracy theorists I've been listening to, they were right the whole time. And that's
Was this like halfway into your third injection? You were like, wait a minute, this kind of
no, man, no way. Before then. So when obviously the COVID happened, the first couple of months, everyone was a bit, you know, it was crazy everywhere, obviously, and that's what changed me, man. That's what really woke me up. You know, people say wake me up. That's what really changed me and made me see the world completely differently.
Welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, it took me a bit longer than some.
It's funny because COVID never even came to Florida. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I love that. It's crazy. It's just obviously a crazy time, and yeah, it angers me. It angers me thinking about it.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, I had a pretty similar thing. Like, I was already an anarchist, like an anarcho-libertarian. Like, I was into radical politics. I already blamed the government for everything. I blamed Israel and England. Like, I blamed the British Empire for almost every modern day problem. Like, you can, it's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, dude. You can like point to shit and you're like, God damn it, England.
Yeah.
But so like I was already like a conspiracy theorist on that route. Like I was already hip to like inside jobs. I was into like you know, that sort of shit. It was like the government is doing all this shit. But like I still had some like remnants of like normality as far as like, well, I mean, doctors are good people. They're not gonna endorse something that they don't believe in. You know, dumb shit like that. I used to go and get my flu shots because I worked at a place that like they would pay for you to get your flu shot because they didn't want you to get sick and shit, supposedly. And so like every year I would just line up like a dummy and they'd come and fucking give you a flu shot and stuff like that. And I just thought that shit was normal. And I don't remember what first like totally woke me up. I think listening to who we've had on the podcast, which is really awesome. We had Richard Grove on. Listening to fucking Richard Grove on Pete Quinones' show was like the first giant fucking red pill that broke my brain. And then like from there, I listened to like James Corbett and like fucking James Evan Pilato and Monica Perez, and then listening to all kinds of different folks like just broke my fucking brain. And like if I didn't have James Corbett at the beginning of like the fucking Rona, that whole kind of bullshit, I might have been a big dummy. I might have been a big dummy and lined up and got my shot like everybody else.
that's crazy that it's like you're so like you're still a baby kind of.
Yeah. So like I was hip as fuck as far as like the government are liars. The government are like definitely like cheating us, stealing from us, murdering us, starting illegitimate wars. And so it was like a hop, a skip, and a jump from like, oh, these other people are tied into government because that's fascism. So these giant corporations are working alongside fucking government. Like, you know what I mean? I was halfway there. Like I was a budding, like they'd still call you a conspiracy theorist, even talking about that stuff, like talking about the Federal Reserve, talking about any of those giant fucking corporations and how like media was working with the fucking government and all these things. And so eventually I just needed something to fucking like flip that switch. And then I was all in. And then I went down a million fucking rabbit holes, dude. I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm a starseed. And maybe like Tartaria.
I'm an indigo child.
Maybe like this is all like, dude. I didn't get on board with the QAnon shit just because I was already suspicious of government. Like I was like, there's no politician that's ever your savior. There's no politician that has like your best interest in mind. So I luckily avoided the whole QAnon fucking debacle. But like I was ready to jump into anything. Oh, and now here I am, semi-skeptical, but still thinking that we're on a flat plane, that the stars
we're stationary,
we're not moving, and the stars are revolving around us slowly.
Why does it matter? I don't know. I just don't understand why that.
I mean, that's just what I think, Thomas.
I'm
just laying there on my back, staring up at the sky, and it's making sense to me.
It's fair enough, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have facts, and I can't tell you how fast we're moving and why.
All I know is that motherfucker on the back of the plane is not real.
Dude, she's really
man, that's crazy.
On that video, huh?
That new lady that's come out, I don't believe that's her, man.
No, dude, she was so much hotter on that video.
Yeah, it doesn't look like her at all. It's something strange has gone on there. And why did it take so long for her to come out?
Well, dude, I don't think that that's Britney Spears anymore. I don't think that that's Jamie Foxx. I don't think that it's that one football player. Like, I swear to God, they just like, dude, I think it's really fucking easy for them to take a similar lookalike and maybe they can do the whole Snapchat like filter kind of like fucking thing. And or maybe they just don't give a shit. Maybe I think that they just put things out there sometimes, just like it's almost like an emperor with no clothes on situation. There's like, call me on it. You think, oh, you don't think that's Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think that's Jamie Foxx. Oh, you think that Joe Biden's earlobes doesn't change like that from like every single day?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're crazy. You're crazy. Everybody's earlobes do that. They
It
attach.
felt like that with the
Attach.
That's corn pop talk.
Yeah.
with the Buffalo player. It definitely felt like that. It felt like they was playing with us, the conspiracy theorists. If you know, that's how it felt. Because that was just weird as well. It just didn't make sense. None of that made sense.
Are you talking about the football player that like basically had like a heart attack on the field and everybody like stopped and kneeled around him and like there was some like weird shit. Like wasn't his like jersey like the number 33 and then there was like some other thing. There was like I remember somebody like doing a breakdown and I was like, for real?
He wore like an Antichrist.
Don't quote me on this because I can't remember, but I swear to God, there was like some people were saying this is a high mass Illuminati ritual that they were doing on television, and they sacrificed him, and then they brought him back. Wink, 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 wink. And it's not. Thomas, what are you finding over there?
It's funny you mentioned that because 33 in Chaldean is Albert Pike, and everyone knows Albert Pike, Real Morals and Dogma. It's also alcohol. I mean, it's. Let's see, it's 1,750 different things. So we're going to start at A and make our way all the way down to Z. Everyone, I hope you've got an hour to spare for this. But yeah, I mean, it's every word. The number 33, depending on the cipher, it's astronaut, it's Atlanta Hawk, attachment, attack speed, bank account. Baron Trump is 33 in septenary, which is where you count by sevens or something. I don't know. So yeah, everything is everything.
Yeah, poor Baron Trump, huh? Like he's clearly out to lunch, and he's like just some young, poor little dumb kid that's like probably severely autistic. Isn't that what they say? And he just like he has a fucking wild skink ass piece of shit father that is like in the limelight all the time, and like so like he's going to be attacked. They are going to like you know what I mean? They talk about him in the media sometimes. Not anymore, I don't.
And he cries himself to sleep in that fucking tower made out of $1 million bills.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty good.
Won't anyone think of Baron and the horrible tragedy that he's gonna have to go through this long, decrepit life? Yeah, poor Baron.
How many Instagram models has he just like picked? You. He's scrolling. It's pretty wild, dude. I've heard wild stories about like, and you know, these are all fucking unverified but funny and kooky stories about just like oil barons. You know, like not barons. What do you call those? Like oil sheiks, kind of thing. Like folks in the Middle East. They just scroll and they're like, .1, get me .1, and they'll like fucking spend like $100,000 to just bang a chick in a night. And or they'll be like, I want to suck Katy Perry's toes. And then they'll just fly Katy Perry out and he's like this and send her home.
Dude, that's so real. I used to work for I'll be vague. I used to work for a company that did stuff for like very high end resorts and you know like all kinds of like all across the world. And we had some clients that would be in the Middle East and we'd be thinking that it's like a 5-star hotel and like, you know, all these huge compounds and they've got automated fucking hot tubs and everything. And then come to find out like 9 times out of 10, if it was in the Middle East, it was just like some guy's house and like his compound. And he was just making like a literal fucking resort, but it was just for his family to come over and spend time. And these dudes, like, there was one time that they needed us to send them something like a contract and it had to be in paper. Fucking, that's not the important part of this. and they're like, we need this contract by tomorrow morning, and we're just like, the laws of physics, won't allow this, like, for us to send this physical object. And they're
You guys
like,
didn't have Chat GPT.
yeah, dude. But they were like, hold on. And the next morning there was like some fucking mail service from like the government that I'd never even heard of. And sure fucking enough, dude, they got that thing like same day, and it was not an option, it was offered. Like they had a special fucking portion of like the United States post office that catered to, I guess, like the extra VIP account. There's wild stories about that kind of stuff, man. Like when you have so much money that international laws just don't even apply to you anymore.
Yeah, dude. No, it's fucking wild. Like Katy Perry's Toes is like number 7 on the menu. You just order a number 7. Yeah,
I had that last night. Yeah, I'm burnt out on that.
She needs to really clean her cuticles because it's kind of gross. Toe jams. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, dude. That money shit is fucking wild, dude. I mean, Thomas, did you ever give any like credence to like those Wayfair like fucking conspiracies where like somebody would be like, you could look it up. It was like a cabinet, and if you look up this cabinet, it was like
more credit than Flat Earth
for
sure. I mean, what was crazy was the amount of Snopes articles and articles saying like, there's nothing here. This is all a bunch of BS. Don't even read that article. Don't even go down that rabbit hole. So I don't think that they were actively trafficking people on Wayfair, but I do think that something was going on there. Maybe it was just someone doing something weird. But yeah, man. I mean, you could easily sway me of that than many other things for sure.
I mean, you heard about just the dude that was like, was he the prosecutor, Thomas, or was he like, he was some big governmental dude that was like, hey, don't look at Pizzagate. It's all fake. It's all fake and gay. Pizzagate is fake. And then he just got busted for child porn. And then you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard that, man.
Like all of that, how much of that shit is real, dude? I still wonder. Because there's so many unanswered questions about that whole fucking thing, and about all those fucking emails, and like, dude, I was just talking about this on our Telegram group. Everybody join our stupid Telegram group. We were just talking about this, like how many fucking, because we were talking about the new like biography about Barack Obama and how he was attracted to men and stuff. He was like texting his girlfriend. He's like, I think about dong every night, and like he was saying all kinds of kooky shit. And like, but in those fucking like Podesta emails that they found, there's just like some from Barack Obama who's like, we need $35,000 worth of hot dogs for the party. And those last hot dogs, they were a little bit old. I need younger hot dogs.
That like, one and the walnut sauce.
When have you ever asked for a younger hot dog? Can I get a younger hot dog, please? Like you go to 7-Eleven, like, do you have any younger hot dogs? This is
go to Babies R Us, ask for a menu.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Who knows, dude? It's all fucking wild. I mean, as long as they're like adults and they're consensual, he wanted them the day after 18. I don't care if Obama was blowing dudes. Like, that doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter if Big Mike has a big schlong. I don't really care. It would be funny. I wish you'd just like whip it out. Like,
yeah.
Got my vote.
Yeah, dude. If Mike came out and was like, you know what? Wham! Dude, I think
it would be such a Trump move, bro.
It would be a Trump move. Trump would
That's
be like
president.
yeah, Trump. Yeah, exactly. She got live on stage the debates. She just goes like this and cock slaps Trump in the face. Winning, dude. She would fucking win.
You give it 6 months and AI can make that happen.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, fucking A, Tommy. We've been on here for a minute now. We've been on here for an hour and a half, and I feel like, I'm sorry, I've been doing all the talking. We haven't put out an episode in a minute because I've been like camping and stuff. And, like, this is where I get out all my kooky, crazy ass ideas. And so, like, I feel like I've been like taking over the conversation.
You've just been blowing your load all over the place.
All over the fucking place, dude.
That's cool, man.
Fucking A, Tommy. Thomas, do you have any more crazy questions for our
Cobra Kai is 33. Con Air is 33. Controlled it. Coolio is 33. Confirmed. Copper. Coral Gables. Yeah, no. I don't know, man. I'm just fascinated in uniting with somebody, you know, over the pond or whatever, and seeing like the fascination of American culture. You know, I don't know. It's just like it's mind blowing to me because there's like this opposite animosity of like it's like this American and England thing. We have the same culture, but we're so oddly detached. You know what I mean? It's like we're cousins that weren't allowed to ever like talk to each other growing up or something. It's like such a weird dynamic.
Yeah, man, for sure. But I think obviously you've got the best TV shows and that sort of, and that's what we watch, and that's where it all comes from.
Well, we had MK Ultras, and we got the Nazis and not you. So
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Is we just had better propagandists and better propaganda, and it's actually kind of fucking pathetic. You guys are sitting there watching our propaganda, like, oh, I wish we could have that. And you're like, meanwhile, we're just like we're enormously obese, and we're like doing like fucking fentanyl and eating McDonald's, and eating and drinking Diet Coke. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, does fentanyl make its way to you guys? Is there like a big fentanyl outbreaks there too?
Yeah, we got all that, man.
Do you have phones out there in England? No, I'm just.
What are they? Phones. Yeah, it's. I feel like we're a lot closer than obviously with the internet and stuff like that now. I was talking to someone in Australia the other day, same sort of thing. You think how far Australia, we're the same. We're all the same, man. If you're a conspiracy theorist, we're all on the same side.
Maybe. I think there's little nuances though, because I mean, this is my own personal bias, definitely not objective reality, but like there's definitely specific components when I talk to an American conspiracy theorist versus a non-American, because my first thought is always, is there like a religion aspect to the conspiracy theorist? Because if you believe in Satan, you know, the ultimate deceiver, then that explains why someone can be all in on conspiracy theories. Because if you've already believed that Satan is the ultimate liar and he can twist and bend things, then yeah, of course he can make you see stuff that's not there. But then if you remove that, if you're talking to an atheist that's a conspiracy theorist, then sometimes it takes a different angle. And I also find like when it comes to the flat earth and like dinosaur stuff, like an atheist seems less likely to be like, hell yeah, I believe in flat earth, and hell no, I don't believe in no dinosaurs. But it's not the same. But it's not like a square and rectangle thing, right? It's not like every square is a rectangle, but every rectangle is a square. So I just find it fascinating. And I always find that people from different areas of the world, or even just our own country, have like different point of views when it comes to like why they believe in certain conspiracy theories.
Yeah, man.
Well, they have different like psyops, dude. They have like different people that are like spreading misinformation and propaganda and things like that.
Well, that's another good example. In like the early 2000s, it seemed like chemtrails was a much bigger thing in the UK, and way more people had chemtrails websites in the UK than in America. And then eventually it kind of became a ubiquitous thing. But like certain things start in certain places, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I don't watch UK news anymore. Mainstream news, I do not watch it. I've stopped watching it from 2020. I've watched it not many times at all. When I do watch it, I get angry because I can just see the bullshit. But so most of the media that I follow is on X, you know, on Twitter. And I'm watching the same news as you guys are watching. You know, that's where I'm. So I feel like that's why we're getting closer. Maybe I don't know. I know that.
You want to hear something really scary, man? It was when I was in the military, and some of my friends worked in intelligence, like top secret intelligence, and part of their job was literally just watching like mass media news, and that's how sometimes military intelligence would get their intel, was just from watching fucking CBS or Sky News or or
Wow.
whatever. So when you
there'd be hidden shit in the fucking.
but not just that, dude, but just
Yeah.
consider that like some of our military intel comes directly from the media, which the media might have gotten that intel from another element in the military. It's almost like people talking about, you know, like the AI is starting to go crazy because it's like training on itself because of like the feedback loop. Like that shit happens in real life through the military and the media.
Well, dude, I'm such a schizo that like if I like sit there and watch the news, I'm like, I don't believe any of it, and I'm like, why are they telling us? Why do they want us to believe this? And I like start breaking it down like hard, you know, like I think it's all fake and gay. I'm like, they're telling us the weather, and I'm like, why do they want us to think it's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow? They want us to fucking wear something skimpy because like they're going to put some airborne fucking thing in the air, and then like
The aliens are coming down.
make some skin contact, and yeah. I don't know. I start questioning everything, dude.
Yeah, man. That's it. That's how I am. I can't watch the news, and I can't, and it just angers me watching it now. So I stay away from it.
Dude, when you just find out that they've just been lying to you all the time. Like we had a pretty awesome guest on here. He goes by Etienne de la Boetie Squared. He's a pretty fucking amazing dude, and he just breaks down like media propaganda and just government propaganda in general, and just like through education, through media, through like every single avenue, entertainment that you can imagine. And he just really points out like very like important things. And one of the things I brought this up, and I think he said he was going to add it to there the first time I had him on. It's like this was a big one where I got like my coworker to think about this shit, because I was like, how did the media fuck this one up? Do you remember when they were talking about the Syria pullout? They were going to pull out of fucking Syria. This was Trump, and he was like, hey, we're going to pull out of Syria. And all of a sudden, like every single person at the same time got the news flash. Hey, we need to care about this group of people that we've never heard of called the Kurds. You remember that everybody cared about the Kurds? You know, what about the Kurds? If we pull out of Syria, then fucking Turkey's going to go and kill all the Kurds. And you're like, what's a Kurd? Where are they from? What language are they?
It's when you deep fry cheese, you idiot.
They're like, and nobody could fucking answer that. But like, so they put out this fucking, I want to say this was MSNBC or this was CNN. I don't think it was CNN. I think it was MSNBC. They put out this fucking news special where they had like they showed some fucking video footage of these dudes with machine guns going, and you're like, holy fucking shit! And they were like, this is Turkey right now, and they're gunning down the Kurds, and this is because Donald Trump was trying to pull out of Syria. And then you fucking like, because this is like 2021 or whatever date it was. Like we have the internet at our fingertips, and they can't lie to us anymore. Somebody looked that up. It was like, wait, this is footage from a gun show in Kentucky. And they're fucking just sitting there ball-faced lying to you. They're saying like, this is Turkey, this is Erdogan, and he's mass murdering the Kurds right now. And you're like, well, that looks like a hillbilly. Wait a minute, that looks like is that a Confederate flag in the background? like, yeah, dude. So I mean, I love like there's like things like that. I remember bringing that up to my coworker, and him just being like, he didn't have a good enough answer for it because he was always the government apologist. Like no matter what I fucking said to him, he was always the government apologist. And then he was like, well, yeah, that was a big oversight on their part. Yep, they made a mistake. I was like, yeah. They made a fucking mistake. Definitely wasn't on purpose. Yeah, man. Media. Fuck their lies, fuck their narratives. They're all a bunch of lying cunts. And they don't have your best interests in mind, dude.
No, for sure, man. For sure. You said something interesting earlier when you said about not trusting doctors and stuff like that. That's where I am now, man. I used to put your faith in doctors and things like that. And I'm sure there is some great doctors out there still, but you know, I don't trust when people say science, I don't trust that anymore. What does science mean anymore? You know, it's changed everything. That 2020 for me.
Dude, that's the fuck thing, is because like honestly, they've lied so much that now you have me questioning that the earth is spinning.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
I'm just like, they're fucking lying. Dinosaurs aren't real. Like,
Yeah, I feel like that's done on purpose as well, just to keep us all confused, arguing. I feel like that's done on purpose.
yeah, dude. I mean, you have like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's like, I guess hey, I'm gonna call this out again. Neil deGrasse Tyson was also he was on the Epstein fucking flight logs. He was on Epstein Island. I'm sure he fucked kids. You haven't probably heard this here first, folks, but you heard this here for the 1,000th time, folks. Neil deGrasse Tyson fucks kids, and there's videos of him probably fucking kids, and that's why he fucking sold out to the New World Order. That's why he's fucking lying to you about the shape of the Earth or whatever, or space or whatever. Neil deGrasse Tyson's a goddamn pedophile. Okay, here we go. So they can.
Now we're definitely getting monetized.
This video is definitely getting taken off YouTube. That's okay. I had 2 strikes, but I think I've waited out like the time. I think they've dissolved. See, that's what I do. I'll get 1 strike. I'm like, fuck. And then I get a second one, and then I quit posting to YouTube for a while. And then they wear off after a while. You get like 2 months. And then, so this will get me a strike.
Is that true?
But that's okay.
I thought strikes were forever. A strike
No,
will wear
dude,
off.
they wear off. Dude, we would have been gone long ago. The very first video I ever put out, it was with William Ramsey, and we were talking about. I think we were talking about. I don't even fucking remember what we were talking about, but that was Etienne Leboetti. Actually, that was that one, and William Ramsey. They were like the first one, or like very close to the first 2 videos that I put out, and I got 2 strikes like right off the fucking bat. Yeah, so no, we would have been long gone a million years ago if that were the case. No, I think it's like 2 months and they go away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. For everybody listening. Yeah.
3 strikes and it's game over.
Yeah, then it's game over. Yeah, so, and I think you lose the email completely. Like, you lose everything associated with that. Like, because I got a lot of things, like, so maybe I shouldn't. I've got, like, I don't know. Fuck
that's
Google,
for
YouTube.
tomorrow, Nate, to worry about, not today, Nate.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a few fucking organic potato vodka shots over here. Dude, I'm being a fat little piggy over here. Like, as we're like talking, I found a bag of mini marshmallows, and so I've been like stuffing my shot glass with mini marshmallows and pouring vodka over it. And like, it was actually pretty good. I was like having a little, yeah. Fucking A. Tommy, we've been on for almost 2 hours here, buddy. Dude, this has been a fucking blast. Is there anything you want to fucking talk to us about? Like, I don't want to like you. I've been like again hoarding.
No, man, it's cool. I've had an absolute blast for you guys. I've laughed a lot tonight, and I loved it, man. Thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll have to do it again. You're welcome anytime you want. And again, tell our audience where they can find you, all the fucking fun stuff, your social media. Do you have a Patreon? Do you have some projects you're working on? Tell us all the good stuff.
We're on all the main podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of them. I think we're on all of them. We put 2 shows out a week. So you can come and listen to us. I've started putting a few episodes on YouTube. I'm quite new to the YouTube, but there's a few episodes on YouTube now. Let's Get Freaky. If you're writing Let's Get Freaky, you can find us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. We're on all of them at TC Let's Get Freaky Podcast. Yeah, come and say hello, man. If you've got any paranormal experiences you'd like to share on the show, everyone is welcome. I'd love to have you guys on the show one day if you fancy coming on. I'd love to have you guys on as well, man. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. I've had an absolute blast.
Thomas, what are you selling tonight, buddy?
Yeah, comics, games, and graphic novels at paranoidamerica.com. And the latest, it's going to be coming out October. We're just going to start building the hype now. But I got a long format comic called Frazzle Drip Funhouse, which is about an animatronic bear that gets revenge on an evil death cult that runs an arcade and that kidnaps kids and puts them in the basement. So we were talking about Pizzagate. Is basically the word Pizzagate doesn't come up anywhere in the comic because it appeals to a much wider audience. But yeah, it's a Pizzagate without saying Pizzagate comic book. So that's going to be a pretty controversial one, I hope. And then you can find a bunch of other stuff at paranoidamerican.com.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it. You sent me a little sneak peek at it, and it's fire. So everybody look out for that. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's meets like fucking like all kinds of crazy shit. Like it's fucking wild. It's gonna be fucking badass. So everyone definitely get in on that shit. Yeah, man. And I guess maybe I should start promoting things on the show. I don't know, like follow us on fucking Instagram. We are on Twitter. I guess Thomas convinced me to sign up to what's the thing called Threads. We also have a Threads.
Yeah, but everyone already left already.
Yeah, dude, that fucking fizzled out quick.
Yeah, it was
like
it
people
was
were excited about it for a week.
By Friday, it was like,
Yeah,
and shout out to Ben. Buy Ben's book. That's another shout out.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, everybody fucking buy Ben's book. And then we're also join our Telegram group. We've got like a small group of folks in there, but like we're all sharing like memes and cool articles, and so it's a fun little like fucking. Also, like we're approachable as fuck. Email us realityzars@gmail.com.
I'm not. Nate is. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm approachable. You can come and talk to me. You can tell me that I'm a fucking idiot, that clearly the earth is spinning, and you can explain to me why we're fucking spinning and why the stars looks like it's fucking slow because we're actually not moving at all. Because anyways, you can tell me why you think dinosaurs are real, or you can come in and fucking agree with me and fucking tell me how cool and smart I am. Anyways, we love you guys. We've got a cool hardcore audience. Dude, we've got like the coolest fucking audience actually. So I love all of you guys that have fucking made it this far into the show. You guys are the fucking best. Tommy, thank you so much for coming on again, man. This was fucking fun. We'll have to do it again. And cheers, everyone.
So you've decided to listen to the Reality Czars podcast. How brave of you. Nate and Paranoid American may think that they're merely discussing cryptozoology, interdimensional realities, and crude humor. But know this, listening to this podcast puts you on a certain list, the Clinton body count, if you will. The truths they reveal are not for the faint of heart, nor the blissfully ignorant. Listen if you dare, but remember, some doors, once opened, cannot be closed. And now, your hosts, those audacious explorers of forbidden knowledge, the Reality Czars, Nate and Paranoid American.